Hi, I'm Gianna.
And I'm Emily.
And this is Booked Up Babes.
Woo!
Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back to our podcast.
Yes, welcome.
This is going to be an episode.
It's going to be a doozy.
Yeah. We gave ourselves a little over a month to fully, a month.
About a month. Yeah.
To fully digest Crescent City 3, House of Flame and Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Because we really just needed to take in the behemoth that is
this.
Because it's a
for
behemoth.
Yeah.
We needed to just make sure that we understood what went on and also how we felt about it. So now here we are a month later, and I think we're ready.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. You're coming on a journey with us.
We're gonna
welcome.
Just give it a try. And today we're drinking.
Oh yes.
My own personal concoction, The Hind.
The Hind, because we fucking love her.
We love Lydia.
So tell us a little about it.
So it's an old fashioned, but I have cinnamon simple syrup and chocolate bitters.
Which she made herself. I walked in and she was in her homestead era, just like making it on the stove.
Baking cinnamon sticks and everything. It was very not like me. If you know me, I don't spend time in the kitchen. And I made homemade cinnamon simple syrup. My husband is very excited.
Yes, and this is delightful. It's so good.
very
And we have a chocolate syrup and cinnamon rim.
Yeah, which is a great addition to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
cheers.
Right.
Cheers. Yeah.
So good.
It's really good. It's like
so good.
One of those cocktails where at first you're like, and you're like, oh, there's the taste.
It's like wine.
It is. There's a nice the aftertaste is where it's at.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Especially if you like old fashions. Like you're gonna like this.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, lint in my mouth. Okay, so
yeah.
where do we even begin?
I guess let's just start in Prithian.
Oh my god, yeah. So I mean, we pick up. You literally pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
With this book, from the second one. So Bryce is in Prithian, and she's under the mountain. So they bring her to like a cell, and because at first I was like, I have no idea how they're gonna talk to her.
No.
And it's like a little pill.
Yeah.
It's like the red pill or the blue pill.
It's
like the Matrix.
If you follow our Instagram, I made a meme and it's like from Rush Hour. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe think
it was like literally that.
Yeah, literally that.
And I guess like a part of me, I was a little sad that we didn't get more of the inner circle.
Yeah. I have a little chocolate on my face.
It's
a really good chocolate cinnamon rim, but yeah, okay.
I was a little upset that we didn't get like a little bit more. Like I would have loved Feyre. I would have loved to have a little bit of Feyre. I would have loved to have more of Cassian. And like I understand why we had. I mean, Amren and Asriel are his. Oh, and Nesta.
Yeah.
Who was only under the mountain for a brief moment, but like those are his people.
Yeah.
Who know the information, like his spy master, and also Amren's older than the fucking earth.
I was kind of shocked Amren didn't play a bigger role. Like, I understood Nesta and Asriel, and I liked them being teamed up together. That was super fun.
One of my favorite. Oh my god.
Yeah, we both keep eating chocolate on our face. It's really good, though.
It's so good. It's like an adult chocolate milk.
It is, but with whiskey, but no milk.
Yeah. Okay, so not really. One of my favorite parts of this entire book actually had to do with Nesta and Asriel's relationship.
Oh yeah, no, they were amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I love them so much.
Well, say what was your favorite moment?
Okay, well, here we go.
We're in Prithian right now.
We're in Prithian. So it was like a bunch of little moments. So obviously Bryce thinks that she escapes, and they all knew what she was doing. And Nesta just shows up, and she's like, yeah, like we're just waiting for you to pretty much do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there were like these moments, all of these moments were happening, but one of my favorites, and it's so small, it's just when like Nesta says to like the air, she's like, you can come out now. And Azrael just like steps out of the shadows. And I'm like, love it. But my favorite part was when she was wearing the mask and Azrael was trying to like coax her to take it off, and he's saying all these things about like the people who are waiting for her. And you know, when he brings up Nyx, immediately she's like, I'm back to Earth. And it's so sweet the way that he holds her head to his chest.
Yeah.
And he just keeps saying like, oh, thank the mother. And like Bryce is even like, I need to look away because I feel like I'm watching an extremely personal,
super personal
moment.
Yeah.
And I think even in Nesta's book, I loved when it comes to like relationships in ACOTAR.
Yeah.
The romantic ones are great, but I personally love like Feyre and Cassian, their friendship, and then Azrael and Nesta, their friendship.
I agree.
Those give me life. I love them.
There's something about the friendships, because the romance part is super fun when there's tension, but then once the tension's gone, it's just nice.
Yeah.
And so what holds you over in these like series where there is like, you know, like with the ACOTAR series, like with, you know, it's, when her and Rhysand are finally together, it's then like, okay, like her friendships are like some of the most enjoyable parts of ACOWAR. So it's like one of those things where I think with this, it's like so beautiful to see Nesta and Azrael's friendship because
they're also so similar.
Yeah.
Like there's like these, like in those friendships, like Feyre and Cassian, like there's something there between them that is just so similar. Like their friendship just, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then same thing with like Azrael and Nesta. So like, honestly, even though I do wish we got a little bit more of the inner circle, what it comes down to is, that like I understand that only certain characters could really be involved because of the amount of time that she was in Prythian. I actually think that the crossover was perfect. And for me, it was perfect. And I know a lot of people were expecting more. We're expecting like a multiverse situation. And I think we all went into it like being like, what are we about to get?
Yeah.
But I was extremely satisfied with the amount of time she spent in Prythian. I was extremely satisfied with the people that she spent her time with, like Nesta and Azrael. I think like they were the most important people for her to spend time with, especially Azrael.
Yes.
Actually, no, like literally both of them.
Both of them were really important for her because of her connection with the sword.
Yeah.
And then Nesta and her connections with both of them being able to control the trove.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was very, very satisfied with the crossover.
Yes, I was too, to be honest. I think, you know, this book, we all were really excited for this book. And I think when you have expectations and you have a certain idea or guess and and then none of that happens, or like it doesn't happen the way you picture, I think that letdown almost can blind you to the quality of what you're reading.
Yes, agreed.
So that's where like I think people are being a wee bit harsh on the book, because I think if you reread it, you're going to be like, okay, no, it's not. Like I just had these certain expectations for which way, how I wanted the characters to go, how I wanted the story to go, how much time I wanted her to spend in Prythian, who I wanted her to interact with there. And like, if you go in now reading the book again, actually, I'm not going to read this book again anytime soon because it's very long and I have other books to read right now. But I feel like if I reread it, I would then go in with that expectation of what I'm going to get and probably enjoy it 1,000 times more.
Yeah. I mean, I gave, this is the lowest rating I've ever given Sarah's books. It was still a 3.5. I still gave it a 3.5.
Yeah.
But I think the people who are like rating it much lower and were really, really criticizing this book, I think that they were looking for what I essentially would say is like ACOTAR 6.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they're like true Crescent City fans. I think they did ACOTAR, went into Crescent City, and like because they thought they were going to be getting.
Yeah.
I think people who are like, this book was bad, I'm like, I think that
Missed the point.
Missed the point.
Yeah.
It wasn't an ACOTAR book. It was a Crescent City book. And we got Crescent City.
Yeah.
We got our people.
Well, because if she spent the whole book there, that would have been so tedious to read. Because the whole time she'd want to be back with Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And they would all be like, and you can have your opinions about Bryce, but everyone would be lost without Bryce.
Oh no, she's their leader.
She literally,
She's the center.
Everything she does.
They just
Like, so at the end of the day, yeah, you could sit there and be like, oh, I just wish there was more crossover. But why? No, the book's not called ACOTAR / Crescent City. It's called Crescent City. And so, yeah, that was a very fun crossover. And hopefully there are more in other books from other series. Like, hopefully ACOTAR, there's some crossover into Crescent City. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'm actually like really...
I can't imagine there'd be nothing.
And it's also, there were just too many things. There were just like other things. Again, when you read Throne of Glass, you'll know.
Yeah, for sure.
But there were things that were said and that came up that I was just like, you're telling me that we're never ever going to get a crossover between like these 3 books. Like, they're like,
no, there won't
I don't
be.
know if we do, amazing. If we don't, I will be a little confused. Though I cannot see what the conflict is going to be in the next Crescent City book.
No.
Because the Asteria is gone.
I mean, it might be a little more political.
Maybe. I mean, if you
which can be fun.
Well, because also, like...
We love Cruel Prince series, and that's a political...
Oh my god, the best...
Like, I love that series, but that's all political.
I think, but if you also think about it too, look where the book leaves off. They're running out of technology.
I think there's like, it's not like a bad guy. I think it's like general, like, thank you, we're gonna keep doing this. It's like general over, like as you said, like they're running out of energy, like who's gonna lead, like who's in charge now, like that shit can be really dramatic.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're right when you say it might be a little bit more political, because now you have...
We're never doing chocolate syrup rooms again.
No. Now you have, and I keep sipping from the same side, thinking that like I'm not going to get any, but here we are.
You will.
But now you have Ethan, who is Prime.
Yeah.
Hypaxia, who is now head of House of Flame and Shadow.
Yeah.
And Flynn is married. I'm not Flynn.
Therian
is married to Sophia Flynn, who is a noble.
Yeah.
And like, also, where does he belong?
Also, like, Bryce is in charge of all the Fae.
Oh, yeah, and Bryce is now queen. So it's like, there will definitely be something. I guess I'm just trying to, like, figure out what that is, because the Asteri were, like, this huge, huge enemy.
Yeah.
And now they're gone. Like, they're really actually scooped into a black hole, into oblivion. We ain't never seen them again.
But I feel like in ACOTAR, she would kill off villains, and then a new one would pop up in the next one.
But even...
Like, they defeated Hybrid in, like, ACOWAR.
I know, but even in Nesta's book, the stakes were just not high.
No, they were not high in Nesta's book. Nesta's book was more about her and Cassian fucking.
And so for me, I'm like, okay, is this next book going to be about these people who were secondary characters now, like, coming into their roles and, like, growing into themselves? Because that was Nesta's book. She really needed to heal. She really needed to, like, grow into somebody. So, like,
and we love Silver Flames. Yeah.
And I love
that book. Yeah. So.
I saw a video the other day that was like, if you don't like Nesta, it's either... Oh no, if you don't like Nesta, it's probably because you are her. I was like, ooh. Like, you might piss a few people off with that one.
That's pretty aggressive.
And it's probably because they are Nesta and they don't want to face that.
Shots fired.
I love Nesta.
I do too. I think she's a very complex character, and I like a complex character. So I guess we can move on from Prithian. Oh no, actually there's a lot that happens there, because then, never mind, we can't, because the worm happens, the mask, as you talked about.
Yeah, Nesta wears the mask.
And my description of the worm.
Emily really wants to make sure everyone knows.
And
she deserves to have this moment.
I have a moment. Although you haven't heard this episode yet.
This
This is out of order. We already recorded an ACOTAR episode. and I guessed what a worm looks like. I was right, because
Emily
it's
was
described in
correct.
this book. I'm like, it is an inchworm with teeth.
And I think I can speak for the entire, again, I'm using this word like I'm back in Tumblr days, the entire fandom. Everybody is in agreement that we thought it looked like the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob.
Well, and so that's kind of what it is.
Which it kind of is, but like more menacing.
Or like with like rows of teeth.
Yeah. But I mean, I was not expecting a worm to show up.
No, I was like, another one?
In the way that fucking Bryce, the root, like she caused that.
Oh my god.
Remember?
She did cause that.
Because they were like, why aren't you healing? Like Azrael's like, why aren't you healing? And he's like, I don't know. And then and then that was the moment where we got like that when Sarah decided to share like the sneak peek, and she was like, she ran back to Nesta and Azrael like in hopes that there was something left to save. If I was Nesta and Azrael, I would have my fist, her face. I would have been like, you bitch.
She fucks them over a fair amount.
And I understand that, like, you don't know them.
You don't know them.
You don't know them. You're in a scary world and all this shit, but, like, they are the only people who can get you literally anywhere. What the hell are you doing?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, we know their character. We know who they are. And, like, so you're reading it, getting mad at Bryce. But then you have to remind yourself that these people held her hostage. She's in another world. She doesn't know who the fuck they are. She doesn't know if she can trust them. Like, they seem nice enough at times.
And, like, I get it. I do.
But it's so frustrating to read because you're like, I know everyone's character.
But at the same time, it's also frustrating because it's like, how do you plan on getting anywhere when you don't know where you're going?
I think
she was
fucking over the
like,
people that are helping you out is a stupid move.
She's like, let me trust my star.
Yeah.
Which we did learn so much.
Oh my god. The amount of info dumping in this book was necessary.
And the amount of info dumping just in the first part. Just in the part
during the hologram.
She was in Prithian.
So much info dump. It took me so long to read it because I kept being like, I know this is important. I know this is important.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept going back and rereading a sentence, and that part took me so long to get through just because I was like, I want to make sure I remember it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't remember everything.
I don't remember everything either. All I know is that there was a huge connection that was made between the people, because in Nesta's book, she says that she can, when they're in the prison, so huge thing. The prison is the Dusk Court. That is like huge, major information that we find out.
Yeah.
Which I think most everybody was like, "There's where's the Dusk Court?"
And like so then that would sum up the Fae that are in Crescent City are Dusk Court Fae.
Yes, and so like major reveal there.
Huge.
And also in Nesta's book, when she says that she can hear people like screaming behind the gate to be let in, and now we know like why that is.
Yep.
And like, when I tell you, so Emily, Emily, and our friend Olivia decided to have like a reading day.
Yeah, we didn't talk about how we read this book, or we started this book.
So we decided to have a reading day. Like, I literally took off work.
January 30th.
Yep.
We did it.
And I read much faster.
I'm a slow reader.
I can also block out every distraction possible. Like when I have ADHD, but like if I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone. So like,
I'm not.
There was a lot of distractions this day.
I'm easily distracted.
Yeah. And I literally remember looking at them and being like, you guys are saying things I really have no idea what you're saying because I'm not listening. So I'm like moving through this book. So the first half of this book, when I tell you, I was just like,
She was.
Oh my god. And you're like looking at me like, I'm so sorry, you will get there, but oh my god. Because not even just Prithian.
What's happening in Crescent City is insane.
What's happening in the Asteri dungeons with our boys?
Our boys!
In Rhone.
I love Baxian.
I love Baxian.
Love Baxian. Yeah. I want him to find another love.
He's a good one.
I know.
Something heartbreaking is now that we know that like Danica and Baxian are mates.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, in the first Crescent City book, when he is at the summit,
yes,
that's the last time that he hears Danica's voice is when she's talking to Bryce.
Fuck off. I never connected that. That's really sad. Poor Baxian.
I love him.
I want him to like.
So like, I don't trust you, and I'm like, I love you.
I love him so much.
I love him.
He's kind of like comedic relief too at times. Like at the end when they just like leave him on a Valen, he's like, "Where the fuck have you guys been? There's fucking flying horses. I'm trapped here.
There's fucking Pegasus here. I don't know what the fuck these are. They're flying, and wait, why am I still here?" It's so fucking funny.
I love him.
But the three of them together in the dungeons, the bond,
like it was beautiful.
Rune's joke about like he's like, what is the joke where he's like three angels like walk into a dungeon or something like that, and they all just start cracking up to the point where it's like hysteric.
And like they're there to like abuse them, and they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, right.
Pollux is like, "Guys, stop laughing."
I will say that another really, really funny moment. Another funny moment is okay. So Rune has Baxian chew off his fucking hand, like
gnarly.
Like that's hardcore. That's hardcore.
In the words of a surf bro, that's nar bro.
What?
Have you never heard that? Gnarly? But
I've heard gnarly. I've never heard nar.
It's like, that's nar bro.
I've heard like shred the gnar.
There we go. Like that's nar.
That was fucking wild. Like
it was nuts.
For Sarah, like the description of like the tendons and like I was like, wow,
God, she did her
you're
research.
Like, you're getting descriptive. Like for her, I'm like, this is a lot. The most descriptive she's really ever gotten is like watery bowels.
Out of nowhere, she went full on Quentin Tarantino on us. You know, it got like real gory.
I was like, oh, okay, nowhere. I can definitely see it. Yep,
all
there.
Right. Sarah Tarantino.
Yeah. Sarah Tarantino.
It was her moment.
But one of the funny moments, I think his name is the Hawk. The other guy, was when he picks up Rune's hand and he literally just folds all of his fingers down and lifts them off with Rune's decapitated hand. That was hilarious. That was very funny.
It was, yeah.
That was very funny.
No, that whole part of the book, it's like, you're just like, okay, I think they're all gonna get through it. Like to me, I was like, if anyone dies, it's Baxian.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I was thinking he was gonna die.
I was like, we're gonna have a Baxian death and I'm gonna be super sad about it, but at least he'll be with Danica. And then they all survived it, which was great. But like how Lydia gets them out.
Okay. Let's fucking talk about Lydia. Well, first, lots of things did happen in the dungeon. I mean,
yeah.
Kind of crazy. Where like we don't find out in the dungeon, but like Apollyon is like there is like a shadow and like
oh yeah, they talk to
and Hunt is like come the fuck out, bro.
Yeah.
I love Hunt so much.
I'm a huge Hunt fan, and I was listening to something today, and all these people apparently do not love my boy Hunt.
People hate on Hunt, and I'm sorry.
I heard a reason though,
Why?
And I was like, I don't like this reason.
Say it.
So it was that like he's not driven enough. That like Rhysand has like goals and like Cassian has goals, but like Hunt's just behind Bryce and he's just whatever Bryce wants. What, a supportive partner? Fuck off, everyone who like blah.
Has Hunt not given enough?
Like
has he not earned the role of arm candy?
Was a slave. My man was a slave.
People say that?
Yes, I was listening to this podcast about another Crescent City book because I was like, I just want to hear what other people are saying. And then they were like, we're not Hunt girlies. And then they like had like audio recordings sent in too. And they were like, the other girl was like, I think I realized why I don't like Hunt and it's because of this. And the podcaster was like, yeah, I don't like Hunt because of that. That's actually a really good way of putting words to what I feel. And I was like, wait, what?
I feel like he's been through enough.
I just feel
he's earned the right of, hey, I kind of maybe just might chill for a second.
Like, Rhysand went through a lot. He lived under the mountain for 50 years. Hunt was a slave and had to murder people for like 300 years.
Also, you can't compare them.
And those are completely different, yes. But let the man just be like, I just want to sit down and watch Sunball with my baseball cap on. My Sunball cap, sorry, they don't call it baseball caps. But like, let the man sit on a couch and watch TV if that's all he wants.
I know that people don't like Hunt. I've never heard that reasoning. I know that
I thought that was interesting. It was just like, no hard feelings to the people who feel that way. I just don't get that.
No, hard feelings.
I don't get it.
Emily can stay out of it, but me and you, what the fuck?
I heard that viewpoint, and I was like, oh.
Rhysand has to be driven. He's a fucking High Lord.
He's in charge.
The High Lord of the Night Court. Cassian is... I'm sorry. Okay, love Cassian, but what is he driven about? He's a general. He does his job. That's what he does. And as soon as Rhysand gives him another position, he's like, I don't really want to fucking do this. I don't want to.
Honestly, I think Cassian and Hunt are very similar.
They're so similar.
So that's why I was very caught off guard with like the dislike for Hunt, but so many people like Cassian, and then they use that reason. I was like, but they're very similar characters.
I think like the huge reasoning is because Hunt, don't get me wrong, like when I first started reading, I was like, oh, this is what Sarah does with her male main characters though. They're just like, whatever she wants.
Yeah. They're very supportive of their
Hunt
women.
is very much like that, but so are all of her other male main characters. Every single one of them. And she hasn't read Throne of Glass yet. We're getting there. But everybody who has read all of Sarah's books, Hunt is by far the healthiest love interest from start to finish.
Oh, he's so healthy.
Like, so that's why the fact that people hate him, I'm like, I don't get it.
I think we're really used to, as a romance community, this is my soapbox, I'm hopping on it.
Yeah, get up there, girl.
As a romance community, we're really used to reading books where a man is incredibly toxic and the woman, because of their love for each other, fixes him.
Yeah.
Hunt needs no fixing.
No.
Bryce is the one who needs to grow the fuck up. And
Emily has said the words.
So, the thing is that everyone's like, fuck Bryce, blah, 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 and Hunt sucks because he's boring. No, he is the woman in most of these books we read. And she is the man.
Because
he is the mature, mentally stable one.
He's so sensitive. He's such a lover boy.
He's a lover. He's such a sensitive. And so I think people are so, like, we're so used to, like, I just finished that Hooked book by Emily McIntyre, and I was like, it's not my favorite. But the man in that book is, Captain Hook, is toxic as shit.
Which
and this is a book.
Even, says
she warns you about it. But and then I think about all the books we read, and a lot of the books we read, the men are really toxic, and then you're the exception, and we love that as women. We love being the exception, to the rule. And so I think with this, the Hunt, complex. And I think with the Hunt and Bryce thing, it's more that he's helping her grow as a person than she's helping him. And I think as women, that's not what we get off on reading as much. And so I think that's why he just doesn't...
No, we live in a perpetual state of, I can fix it.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think that's why he isn't the most favored of the men. But to me, I'm like, I'm here for his mentally,
I fucking love Hunt.
So, emotionally aware character.
And I wasn't I didn't love him that much, in my first read, but I think that had everything to do with I didn't love Crescent City in my first read.
Yeah, you did it.
But then I did my second read and I was like, love the series.
Yeah.
Love Hunt. So there will be no Hunt hate in this house.
We a Hunt family here.
We fucking love Hunt.
Yeah. No, that's my soapbox about us as romance readers.
Yeah.
Maybe let's be a little nicer to the emotionally stable men in books.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because
also, wait a minute. What? Okay, we're gonna divert from this eventually.
Yeah.
But your problem with Hunt is that he undoubtedly supports the female main character. That's your issue with him?
Yeah.
That's a problem, ladies. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I love myself a morally gray man in books. I love myself a complicated man in books. So, trust me, I get it. But, there is literally nothing to dislike about Hunt.
No, there really
nothing.
isn't.
There is nothing.
No, I have no issues with him. Thank you. I just to me, throughout the book, when she gets upset with him, he's very calm about it. They have one blow up fight, but even then how they handle it, isn't that when they're in the cave? And they they kind of have an argument in front of everyone else.
For most of the book, they are kind of in a precarious place.
Well,
and I have my own feelings about that.
Yeah, and before because I'm going to let you hop on that. But my one thing about that is I don't mind a realistic relationship in a book. And sometimes you go through points where you argue a lot, and sometimes you go through points where you don't argue for like months. And I think they're just in a moment where they're a little fragile, and they're both going through things individually, and they can't see each other's experience. And so they're getting frustrated with each other. And it's really annoying to read, but it's realistic.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I do agree with that, but the Bryce of this book felt very much not like the Bryce of the first two books. That's my personal opinion, especially when it came to her relationship with Hunt. Like, I'm sorry. This man just got tortured every day to like the brink of death just to literally survive it, heal, come back. And this isn't the first time this has happened to him. This is the second time.
Yeah.
He has no idea where you are, which I would like to point out. If anyone goes back and reads her chapters, her point of view versus his point of view, and I know that it might be a self-preservation thing, but she never thinks about him. Whereas Hunt is always, in Hunt's point of view, while he's in the dungeons, there's always something about Bryce. But in Bryce's point of view, she is never thinking about him. And I know that some part of it has to be self-preservation, and I know that like she doesn't even want to look at her phone because like they're the background and like it hurts too much.
Different
and she needs to be focused. But like I just want to like put that into perspective. So he is on the brink of death for the second time in his life in these dungeons. No idea where she is. He's already lost one of his loves in a very similar fashion. Doesn't know where she is. Thinks she could be dead for all he knows. You guys get back together. You tell him that you want to go do what you originally were going to do, which is go back to the Asteri, destroy them. And he's a bit hesitant because the man's been through it.
Yeah.
So I think he's a little bit like me. I think he needed 5 minutes. And like I need 5 minutes sometimes, okay? I think he needed 5 minutes. And she's over here like, you act like you don't even want to be here. And it's like, well, who in their right fucking mind would?
Yeah.
Like, can we take a step back here, please?
Yeah.
And like, I thought it was extremely selfish of her. I thought it was very, very tunnel vision of her to like literally only be thinking about her experience and what she just went through. Like, it was so out of character. It was extremely out of character. In my opinion, it was very out of character for Bryce.
Now, I don't know if Sarah put this much thought into it because Sarah makes people up and they're not real. But, well, in my head they are. But, do you think that, like, in some sense, she's not thinking about what he went through because she feels so guilty about it? Because it was her idea for them to go into the Asteri's building in the end of the second book.
I mean, at the end of the second book, she says to herself, she's like, this is my fault.
Yeah.
So, like, I do think that it might have, but this is the thing. Sarah decided to not take that route with her. She decided to not talk about, like, Bryce. Like, Bryce gets back from Prithian and girl's driven. She's ready to, like...
Yeah.
She's ready to not only, like, take down the Asteri, but she's also ready to, like, take down the Fae. Like, she's, like, done. So, we don't really get any of that guilt from her. We just get I just got back from my little vacay. And I found out a bunch of stuff and I'm ready to just take control. And I respect that. I really do. Like, one of the things that I love about Bryce so much is that, you know, the girl sets her mind to something and that's it. It's happening. Yep. And I love it. She's driven. She's strong-willed.
She's a Capricorn.
She's a Capricorn, yeah.
I know, and that's maybe why I really like Bryce. But, like, it was your last episode, you were talking about how the main character was a Libra.
Yeah.
I think Bryce might be a Capricorn because we can get very, like, tunnel vision driven.
Yeah.
And not care about other people's feelings around us when we're driven.
And I get that. I do. I really do. In, like, a normal situation. Like, but in this situation, I'm just like, I need you to have, like, 25% empathy for your mate and what he just went through and not be pushing him when maybe he just needs like 5 minutes.
Well, and there's also probably some layer of like she got an assignment while she was in Prithian of like, this is what needs to get done.
She got an assignment.
She got an assignment and she understood it and she was like, now I know what I need to do. And she's just like, boom, we got to do it. And she's looking at her mate and she's like, I love you, but I need you to be ready. And I understand both sides. I understand both sides.
I do get that. It's just.
Because all she's seen is, how can we solve this world's problems? And he's like, I'm going through emotional hell. And she's not being very sympathetic or empathetic about it at all, which is not cool. But she's also like, that's great. We'll deal with it when we kill the Asteri. And she's asking him to compartmentalize his emotions, and he's not capable to do that, and she needs to respect that.
And she also asked Lydia to do the same thing about her kids. Like, I remember, like, when she found out her kids got taken, like, she used very bad wording. She was like, leave the baggage behind. And Lydia's like, my kids aren't fucking baggage.
Her communication is lacking.
They're not. But, like, you know this place more than anybody else. Yeah. So, like, you need to focus.
Yeah.
And, like, I do get, like, she's being a leader. I get it. Like,
and sometimes leaders are bad guys.
Yeah. Like, I do. And they don't have the time to think about the emotional aspect of things. Like, I do understand that. But I feel very protective over
our baby Hun. No, I know.
Like, the man's been fucking through it.
And I felt for him when they got in that fight. And I understood both perspectives, and they both are right in their own way. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's up to them to save the world. We got all our shit we have to deal with after this, but like, we have to put that away and move on and get this done. But in the same breath, your mate is telling you, hey, I'm not able to do that yet. Can we have a moment? And she's like, no, you can't. And I can understand. I see the frustration that would come from both, and that's where arguments come from.
Yes. This is why there's debate teams.
Yeah, exactly. And and honestly, that's where, like, to me, I appreciated that Sarah didn't put their relationship on a pedestal and make it seem like it was all sunshine and rainbows, but like they had real problems that would really occur in a relationship where, like, one person's emotionally not in the right spot for something and somebody else is, and they're pulling them along, being like, come on, get over it.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
Where you get a little nearsighted. So, I don't know. I agree with you, though. She is a little...
I just felt like I felt like her character was very this is, again, a personal opinion.
Detached? 100%.
From who she was and, like, just her character, her personality, her characteristics. And I understand, like, she is a different person in this book. Like, she has to be a different person. But, like, even just... like, to the core of who she is, I'm like, you just don't even feel like the same character.
Well,
and not in a good way.
No, and I feel like my biggest qualm with the book in general was that it just didn't feel like we ever talked about emotions very often.
Oh my god, one of my biggest qualms...
boom, right over it, every single time.
One of my biggest issues... What Sarah does so well is... those moments. Mm-hmm. Like, those moments where connection happens, especially when it comes to found family. Mm-hmm. Like, she just does it so well, and there was so much of that lacking in this book.
Yeah.
Example number 1. Why on earth did Rune, Baxian, and Hunt not ever... The 3 of them never discussed what happened.
Never had a scene where they were talking about it or anything.
I don't even need them to go into detail. Like, they're all there. But, like, there was this very clear and obvious bond that was created. Mm-hmm. And there's this very clear and obvious bond that was created. And then, like, we got nothing.
Yeah.
We actually got nothing.
There was not even, like, a moment where they're all fighting together or something.
No. And, like, there's just, in her other books, you get to see, like, these moments between characters that have been forged because of something, and they just so much was happening, and, like, there was no moments where the 3 of them who went through something absolutely, utterly traumatic together, nothing at all, and I was like, wow, that really sucks.
Yeah, well, it's like, even, like, when, like... Bryce and Rune killed her dad and uncle, and then they're just like, so that happened. So anyways, and I'm just like, what?
It's crazy to
like,
me.
Yeah, they both were shitty people, but like, you have no feelings about that?
You're not even gonna talk about it a little bit? You're not gonna debrief?
Even like a page or two of, like, I don't know, a little like, hey, Are we both okay? Like, that's pretty traumatic to kill your family members.
They have those conversations with their partners, like Lydia.
Let's get into Lydia and Rune.
Lydia and Rune.
Let's do it.
I personally, Lydia carried this fucking book on her back.
I love her. That's why we have the Hind today.
Yeah, like very quickly did she become one of my favorite SJM characters. I'm obsessed with her. She is the fucking best. Like,
she is.
All the way from the beginning when she's like, cause Rune, I'm like, Rune, baby, I love Rune so much. But like when she's in the dungeon, and Lydia's trying to be like, Rune, I'm like, yo, homie, let her in. Let her in,
man.
And, like, one of the best moments is when she shows up to the Viper Queen's fucking pit.
Oh, yeah.
The door opens and everybody's like pointing weapons at her or whatever. And she's like, put that shit down. And she's like, or fucking Rune's gonna die. And I'm like, what an entrance. What an entrance.
She is so
She
cool.
risks everything for him. Everything.
And then, like, the whole surprise of her having children when they get, like, because, I mean, she, like, dies.
Yeah, like, she pretty much dies.
And, like, when that happened, I was like, it's Sarah. She probably didn't die. There's probably some miraculous way to save her.
But the sweet moment where she, like, becomes a doe and, like, nuzzles Ryan's neck. And that's the moment that he's like, wait, no, fuck, I don't want you dead. Where are you going? Come back. And he's like, no.
Oh,
and,
my
like,
God.
Hunt is so, like,
So good.
yeah, if it was Bryce, I'd be doing the same thing. But you would also be pulling me away because it's time to fucking go. Like, it was just like, that's another... No one talks about that.
It's such a good scene. And so then, you know, she's on the boat. We realize she has 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's everything that's been driving her to make her decisions.
When that did happen in the book, though, I was definitely like...
What the fuck?
I remember saying...
You said what the fuck out loud while you were reading it, and you go, you'll see.
I literally was like, what the actual fuck? It felt so random at first. It felt very, very, very random. And if I'm being completely honest, it still doesn't feel entirely... Like, it doesn't...
Organic.
No, like, it kind of just like I'm behind it because I love her and whatever Lydia wants or needs, I'm there. But like, it didn't feel entirely organic. And I was just like, okay. But I rolled with it.
Yeah.
And there's a very specific reason why I'm really happy that I rolled with it, but I can't talk about it because you don't know yet.
Oh, for Throne of Glass. Got it, okay.
But those of you who are listening, who have read Throne of Glass, who know what I'm talking about.
No, I do appreciate... Well, I love the part where, like, Rune finally is, like, coming around her. She goes, so you just came around to me because you found out it was a mob.
Right?
And then he's like, okay.
off.
She's like, a lot like Bryce. And I'm like... And then her and Bryce are together. I just love that. I love that whole... I love the fact that she's not instantly... Because she's fighting for them.
Yep.
And then she's like, I'm with my boys. And he's like, oh, I'm a boy. Now I'm going to like have emotional depth about this. And she's like, no, this isn't how I want you to come back to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Exactly.
Have standards, Lydia.
She was just like, Lydia has got to be one of the fucking coolest,
She's so cool.
characters ever. I love her so much. She never once... The only time that she was ever, like, desperate was when she was like, Rune, I really need you to, like, listen and, like, open up your brain.
Yeah.
But, like, as soon as Rune was like, oh, I'm gonna be, like, caring and adult now. She's like, you can actually fuck off.
Yep.
It's even at the end, when... I know a lot of people had some qualms with this because Rune literally shot her. And everybody was like, what the fuck was that? Because, surprise, hello, they're mates. Could have seen that one coming a mile away.
Yeah. He's trying to protect her.
And people were like, oh, like Rune, like shooting Lydia, like his mate, like what the fuck? And I'm like, that actually seems so on brand for Rune. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like
He's impulsive. He's not perfect.
He didn't shoot her in the chest.
No.
He just tried to slow her down because he knew that she was acting purely on emotion.
Yeah.
And even then, when she was like, I will actually fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And like, you knew in that moment, you knew that she was like dead serious.
Oh, she was.
She was like, no, I'm gonna kill you. And I'm like, and I'm reading it and I'm like, oh yeah, she'll kill him.
I was like, this is gonna be hard to bounce back from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he saves her boys.
saves her boys and
Yeah.
says, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, he says, oh my God, I did highlight it. It's near the end of the book.
I got it.
All right, there we go.
Well, because he's like, oh, I don't get the chance to tell you later, I love you. And then, oh wait, no, that's like before. I was like, because I highlighted it too. Oh wait.
Got it?
So he said to her, mind to mine, I love you. I fell in love with you in the depths of my soul, and it's my soul that will find yours again in the next life.
Like, oh my God.
Rune was my favorite character from the beginning, and now I'm just like, the two of them are one of my favorite couples out of all of her couples.
Yeah.
Hands down, easy.
Well, and I wonder...
I actually do like them more than Bryce and Hunt.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I wonder if that plays a role, too, in people not, like, being big Hunt fans or being Bryce and Hunt fans as much as because Rune and Lydia's love story is so much more, like, complex.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, that's more, like... Because as I said, if once the tension's gone, relationships aren't as fun to read about.
Oh, but I would read their shit.
But,
about
like...
their happy life. Like, if she decided to make a novella just about, like, them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on my nose?
No, you had the perfect little Marilyn Monroe chocolate spot.
Oh, love that.
No.
I would read an entire novella about them just being happy and in love. Like, that's how much I freaking love them.
Yeah. But I think it's because, like, how they met and how, like, their love formed. It's so angsty, and that's what we get off on. Whereas, like, Bryce and Hunt, like, they had a moment, but, like, theirs was more like they're required to be around each other a bunch, and then they turned out falling in love and becoming each other's best friends. And it was great.
Which I do love.
And I loved, but we love an angst more.
We do. I freaking love
So I
it.
think it outshines it in a way.
Wait, you didn't even hear me. I said Lynn and Rudia.
Oh, the whiskey's hitting.
I was gonna say the whiskey is hitting.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
No.
But yeah, love, absolutely adore them, love them. There is a bonus chapter with them. We won't talk about it, just in case you haven't read it, but it's a good chapter. And at this point in time, you can definitely find them online. So if you, because there's no reason to own 5 books. No. But they do have a bonus chapter. It is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Read it. It's sweet. It's lovely. Yeah. But yeah. So oh my God, I love it so much.
Do we want to talk about Ethan now?
Not really, but let's do it.
I figured let's just like bounce through the characters and we'll also bounce through the story simultaneously.
There's no way that we would be able to do this episode timeline-wise because there's so many POVs. That was also another issue that a lot of people had was the amount of POV switching.
It was a lot.
And for me, it wasn't too bad because I read Kingdom of Ash. And Kingdom of Ash, literally, that's the last book in the class. And that book is just POVs. Especially towards the end where you're in a single chapter and it's like POV, which is exactly how this entire book was. So I can understand how that...
It's exhausting.
Is a lot.
Yeah.
But...
Well, But I think the thing is there's so much story to tell and you have to tell it from so many different perspectives throughout the book that I feel like it's almost a little bit necessary for a book like this to have... I mean... 95% of the story would not, no, that's dramatic, but like 50% of the story would not be told if you didn't have Ethan and Therian and Detta. Like, you have to have all these point of views.
Definitely.
And I think we're really being set up for Ethan and Therian spin-off. Like, the next book will be more focused on that.
Yeah, I mean, the next book is going to be House of Many Waters. So definitely Therian. Yeah. Especially now that Therian's married. Which we'll get into him too, that stupid little fish. Yeah.
We'll talk about the stupid wolf first before we talk about the stupid fish.
Dumb, big, bad
we have feelings about this. They're the same feelings.
Yeah.
I understood Ethan's journey, but I found it infuriating. Like where he got, how he got to being Prime. It was a necessary story to tell. How he got there, I wanted to punch something. Like, I feel like he kept making really weirdly dumb choices.
I needed him to fucking focus.
Like, like, he was so stuck on, like, the fact that, like, he killed who he thought should be the prime.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a crazy scene. I was like, no way, they're not killing her off.
Which also, like, what was... I mean, I guess I know the point of her because it was literally what started everything else. But I was just like, everybody made such a... And that's because we didn't know, but everyone made a huge deal about who Sigrid was going to be.
Yes.
And here she has, like, fucking...
She dies in, like, the first
10
half of the book.
chapters in, and she's dead. Like, a hand through the fucking throat.
No way she's coming back.
I'm swearing a lot. I need to... I'm so sorry, everybody. I just get, like, when I get really into something, I'm just like, a trucker.
I am too.
Okay.
Bartender for too long.
Yeah.
This is clicked on as explicit.
Yeah.
Though, so
don't listen if you're like 5.
This is for adults. But no, it is. When he killed her, I was like, no. That was good job, Sarah. You got me.
I did not see that coming.
Did not see that coming, and I like that. Like. Yeah, I thought they were gonna be fucking mates.
I did too.
I thought for sure this is his mate.
And now it's the other one I'm thinking.
Oh, it's gonna be what's her name? I almost called her Penny. It's not, but it's something that lame.
It's not.
It's Poppy.
No.
Swear on my life.
No.
Swear on my life. I highlighted
Disagree.
when he talks about her scent at the end.
Poppy? Are you sure he's not saying that she smells like Poppy?
I swear her name is stupid.
It's not. It might be like...
She smells like strawberries. Oh, it's like something.
I
Penny.
think it's a P.
It's a P. Poppy's pretty close. Hold on, where is this freaking quote? It's near the end.
Yeah, because he talks about how she smells.
He talks about how she smells like strawberries. And...
Oh,
yeah.
What is it?
Oh, here we go. This is...
We're going to cut this down a bit.
Perry. Her name's Perry.
Perry.
There we go.
Perry the platypus.
Perry the platypus. Freaking love Phineas and Ferb.
A platypus. Perry the platypus.
Her name's Perry. I was close with Poppy. It's a shitty name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just didn't like that
Maybe
name.
it's short for something.
What, like perennial?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Isn't that a flower? So, you know.
I don't know.
A perennial.
I was thinking like periwinkle.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
cute.
actually still not bad.
No.
I don't know what is perineal.
Oh,
that's a body part.
I know. I think it's
something in your eye.
I think it's a flower.
Are you sure?
I don't know. We'll Google it
Okay,
later.
we'll Google after.
I'd love to extend people's nicknames into full names, so I'm just going to assume that's her name. Okay.
Perennial. I feel like it's something with
perennial. A perennial. Yeah, it's a flower.
All right,
I think so. Okay. Anyway, so his whole story, I did like him and Jessica.
Oh my god, I will say I really like that. I
liked
what's
that.
so funny to me is Jessica, for a hot second, I was like,
is she a romance?
are you guys?
Are you guys gonna fuck? Because I'm here for it.
She was so forthcoming. Doesn't tell anyone anything for years, and then boom, she's like, let me tell this young wolf.
I think that she realized Bryce is in another world, things are moving. Now's my time to tell my story to somebody.
Yeah.
Because now the things that I need to come to fruition in order for me to pass on are happening. Mm-hmm. Bryce is doing what she's needs to do. Mm-hmm. I can tell this little wolf pup all my shit.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I was like...
Because Jessica is calculated.
And the fact that she was so openly...
Yeah.
Talking about everything, I was just like, you are the most mysterious character in this book, and you're telling Ethan. You're telling Ethan. I know he's cute, but he ain't that cute.
Her story is so cool, though, because she's like a 15,000-year-old human who got turned immortalized.
I know. Jessica's so cool.
And then got past some of the magic from, oh my god, what's the name of the light eater? From hell. Apollyon.
Apollyon.
He like accidentally passes some of his magic, and so she like lives with the witches for a while. Like just like he learns how to like. But she's a human who got turned into a magical being.
I know, and she's lived like the craziest life.
Yeah, and then like on top of it all, she was the person who decided that like knowledge was power and protected all those books for 15,000 years. So cool.
She's so cool.
Oh man,
that was a
Jessica's
really,
so cool.
really great storyline, and I'm so happy that we actually got so much of her in this book because, I mean, she's done. You know?
She's done because then she saves Bryce.
She had her Dumbledore and Harry.
Did. Oh my god,
at the train station moment.
Literally what I pictured. Did I text you? I think did we not talk about this? That was literally what I pictured. I go, this is Dumbledore and Harry in the train station.
It is exactly what I thought of when I read it. I was like, okay, so this is Dumbledore and Harry at the train station.
I can't believe we had the exact same thought when I literally go, oh,
yeah,
I know what this is.
Yep.
It's so funny.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah.
I was like,
God, it was so good.
this is reminiscent. I am feeling reminisced.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and like that, yeah, I loved that storyline. But then like Ethan trying to bring back Sigrid, like, bro, she did.
The lengths that he was going, I was just like, oh my god, my dude, give it up.
And at this point, people had already hinted at him that he had what it takes to be a prime.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have too much to say about Ethan.
No.
Because most of it's not nice.
The bone quarter scene was cool.
Yeah, I'm
Hypaxia becoming in charge of like...
And I'm really happy you got to see Connor.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. It was really beautiful.
And I think that I'll have more to say about Ethan in the next book.
When he grows up a little bit.
I think I'm going to say the same about Therian. Like, I'll have more to say about Therian. Though I have plenty to fucking say about Therian now. But like, between the two of them, I was just like, decision-making skills way off base right now.
Yeah, it was like they didn't understand the assignment like Bryce did.
And like, like I don't know. So I think that Ethan's gonna really grow into his role. I don't think that he's ready to. I mean, I was expecting him at the end of this book to be a little bit more sure of himself, and he's still at the same exact spot where he's like, I don't think I should be doing this, and I'm like, okay, well maybe in the next book we'll get there. But
yeah, dear God above, man, have a little faith in yourself. As an insecure person, it's okay to believe in yourself a little bit.
Yeah,
golly.
I really was not vibing with Therian and Ethan's.
And Therian is just like
there was like so in the beginning of this book, I was like Ethan, and then like the rest of the book happened, and I was like I still love you, but like I can't be a part of your journey right now.
No, it was annoying.
I'm glad that his journey happened, but I was just like, oh my, like, let it go. Prioritize. Move on. It is literally time to move on. And then you get Therian, who, from the beginning, I have said this before in our previous Crescent City episodes, I've never been a huge Therian girl. Like, his chapters have never done anything for me.
Is anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's got some stands.
Oh, good for you guys.
I'm not one of them.
I'm like lukewarm on him.
Like a bath. Really liked him, and I'm not saying I disliked him. It's just like his character has never done for me what the other characters in Crescent City has.
I liked him more in the like when he was like, "Hey, legs." Like I liked him early when he had like a little more confidence and swagger, and now he's just like a pathetic mess who just keeps making mistakes. And I'm like, "Boo boo, get your shit together."
Like,
get your shit together, please.
You going into the Viper Queens.
I mean,
my dude, my dog.
I feel like it wasn't his only choice.
I think he was in a panic and he made a choice and it was
which we all do. So.
But then like, and I know that he was doing this to like save Flynn's sister, but like now you're married.
That was the only thing I thought he did that I was like, well, that's nice of him.
I'm like, yeah, I thought that was nice of him, but I still was like, there it is. There's that impulsive thinking happening.
Yeah.
Which I don't have too much to say about Therian, but I am going to stray from that because we're talking about this very specific time in the book. I was so utterly disappointed with the Autumn King's character.
Like, how so?
I was so disappointed. Like, these are the moments in the books where I was like, I don't really understand where Sarah ended up here.
Mm.
We had 2 books of him essentially like, it was kind of like, oh, he's a bad guy, but he's doing other stuff that might lead us to think he's the good guy, and he's doing stuff. And then we get to this point where he's just like, no, ha ha ha, I'm actually just a villain, and I hate you, and I'm going to do, and I'm like, wow, that was actually the worst way that this character could have possibly gone.
10 out of 10, agree.
Nothing about it made a lick of sense.
Yeah.
Nothing about it. I was like, this feels so weird to me.
No, he felt morally gray until this book.
Yeah. Like, what was the point of like these little
snippets of him being like, you don't understand my relationship with your mom. Mm-hmm. You don't know the full story. And I was like, I would love to know the full story. I would love to know how you made a mistake and now you're paying for it. Like, that would be a great storyline.
It quite literally was, at the end, it was like, I am and I'm just like, terrible, absolutely terrible.
Not into it.
What was that?
I was
very disappointed with his character arc.
It wasn't
an arc at all. It was
it was a flat line.
It was an arc because it seemed like he was going up and then down.
Yeah, it's true. It was a swan dive into nothing.
Yeah.
I had the same exact feelings about it. I was like, damn it, because I love, like, it's a weird thing to say, I guess. But I love this in Iron Flame as well. I love a morally gray parent.
Yeah, you love the mom.
Yeah. Well, and I love the story of it.
Yeah.
I love a good, like, I'm not a good person, but there were some reasons behind my decisions. Here's mistakes I've made. Like, here are things I've done, but, like, here are reasons. Like, I don't know, like, I like complexity in a character. Mm-hmm. And he became very flatlined very quickly. Like, there was no complexity behind.
I hated it.
That bothered me.
I hated it.
That definitely bothered me. Because then when they killed him, I'm just like, yeah, no wonder you don't feel anything. Because your dad, like, straight up just admitted that he's 100% evil.
Yeah.
But then I was also, I don't know. That whole storyline didn't fully sit with me.
It didn't make any sense to me. I thought it was very, very weird, very strange. Yeah. I was very unhappy with that, for sure.
Well, and I also felt like when she was in his home, how she handled that was infuriating.
Yeah, because I'm also like, use this time, get more information. But instead she was acting like a teenager, like a petulant teenager. And I was just like, Bryce, you're so smart. Why are you not being smart? Why are you not being calculating right now?
Like, why are you not manipulating the situation a little bit?
This is what I mean by, like, there was so much about her that I was just like, you are nothing. Like, 2 books, Bryce.
But, like, in the same breath, I will give Sarah credit in this, is that whenever it came to Bryce and her dad, Bryce always acted in emotion.
Yes, I will say she was extremely consistent. I was just hoping that maybe after the time that she just had in another world, she may come back and decide I'm going to be more calculating here and not emotional. And she didn't do that. And I was just like, okay, like, whatever.
Because every time it came to her dad, emotional decisions.
Yeah.
Like, her and Bryce announcing that they're mates, pretty much. And Cormac. What did I say?
Her and Bryce. She is a mate with herself.
She is a mate with herself.
Also, R.I.P. Cormac. I really didn't think he was gonna be dead, but he gone.
He gone.
Pretty early on, we found out, and I was like, oh yeah, okay,
I was like,
he's
bummer.
definitely not coming. He's with Sophie.
He is with Sophie though. He's with his in their afterlife, and they're protected now because Hypaxia is in charge of the afterlife.
Yes. Which, speaking of Hypaxia, I still like her character, but the fact that this girl became. The fact that she became head of
the Bone Quarter
and like House of Flame and Shadow, and she failed at necromancing twice. I'm like, where is your resume?
That's like failing the SAT and getting to Harvard.
Show me your qualifications because I don't think you have them. It's like,
oh yeah, I got like a 3 on my SAT, but I'm in Harvard.
Yeah, like what? Which I think, next book we're going to get a ton of that as well.
We'll get more of her, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. So I guess, Hypaxia plays a very important role in this book.
Yeah, because major thing we find out, they've been diluting the water so that they can't access their full powers.
Which is crazy.
Like, I want everyone to just take a minute and think about the Asteri and what they've done.
It's nuts.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
So,
oh my god.
Yeah, so basically Apaxia, comes up with
a potion.
because Ethan...
This is where Ethan does a solid.
And
yeah. This is where he's not annoying.
Ethan has like ice powers, which is insane. Like insane.
So cool. Which I know I haven't read Throne of Glass, but that's connected to Throne of Glass, right? Sorry, Throne of Glass spoiler.
Oh no, I'm not mad that other people are getting a Throne of Glass spoiler. I'm mad that you freaking know that. That's something you shouldn't know. Oh man.
I don't feel like it's that big of a deal, is it?
Yeah.
It's a huge deal.
It's not a huge deal, but I hate that you know it.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk after. I was literally sitting here being like, I want to say something, but I'm not going to. And then I could have because you freaking...
Because Lydia's the same.
I'm no comment.
Well, okay.
I'm literally I am removing myself from the narrative.
It's our Hamilton crossover.
I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
So anyways, so when she does make that and then everyone starts accessing their powers, they're all like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder they were blocking them because they would have overtaken them.
Oh, easy. So,
if they had all their powers.
It was, there's so much about the Asteri was so fucked. I mean, they were also, the second light, they were, like, people were dying and they were literally feeding.
Off their dead souls.
Like,
so disgusting.
Absolutely freaking crazy. The Asteri are terrible.
Terrible.
So it was, like, kind of crazy that we met one really early on.
Yeah.
Who, wild, Azrael was like, it looks like Rhysand's sister. And there was actually someone that I did think it was. It was not. I feel like if everybody's read all of the books in Sarah's bookography, like a discography.
Bookography, right? I don't know.
I feel like maybe we all came to the same conclusion. It was not. But I thought it was kind of crazy that Azrael was like, it looks like Rhysand's sister. And I was like, yo.
That's an interesting line to throw in there.
What does that even mean?
That's not a throwaway. It's not a throwaway line.
Why did he say that? I don't understand. Why did he say that?
Yeah.
Which kind of leads me to, so we can talk about the end.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Like,
not my favorite.
Not my favorite ending to a book. Seemed like everything was extremely rushed.
Yeah.
Because we spent so much of the book doing literally a million other things.
I mean, it was a busy book. Like, she got a lot done. She got a lot taught to it. Like, she taught us a lot about the world. But then, at the end of the day, the ending... And I think that's what affects a lot of people emotionally about this book, is that you're like, yeah. And you're expecting a normal Sarah J. Maas ending. And it's a little tied up with a baby bow. And it's kind of like, oh... Okay, so the Asteri just go through a dark hole and now they're gone forever. And now that's done. And now, like, it just felt very, and like, obviously Bryce has to do the whole I die and come back to life thing, which has happened a few times.
Something that really, really annoyed the ever-loving shit out of me was that her first words back were like a joke. That is something I cannot stand. Something I really wish was different about her. Like, it's always like so much of this book was like serious things and she's like cracking a joke. And I'm like, it's fine if it's once in a while, but like the fact that it's so consistent, I was just like, I'm good with this.
She's Chandler Bing. She uses comedy as deflection from emotion.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm all set. It's fine when Chandler does it.
I'm not gonna lie, maybe this is why I like Bryce so much, because I'm also a comedy deflector.
Maybe. I'm like, don't get me wrong, like I still...
My dad and I are both people who, when we're really uncomfortable or really emotional, will use comedy.
I mean, I still really like Bryce.
Yeah.
But I was like, for 2 seconds, get serious, girl. Like, good lord.
I mean, that's fair.
Like, people are dying. So I'm like,
yeah.
But for me, I don't think I had much of a problem that it was tied up with a perfect bow, because I knew going into this that it was going to be the ending for a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, like, from the start. But I mean, I can't. I mean, you can kind of compare it to like Aka War, but
Yeah, it is. It's similar.
But like Aka War, we still got something when it came to like a battle.
Yeah, the battle was pretty crazy in Aka War.
And like, if you read Kingdom of Ash, like, you want to talk about a perfect ending to a perfect series, like that's it. And it's like, I guess I was just like looking for like where, like, I wanted a battle. Where were the scenes where I was like watching some of my favorite characters or reading about some of my favorite characters and seeing in my head like battling it out and like fighting for their lives? And like, I guess I was just like, I really missed that. There was like nothing really happened there.
Well, I mean,
Bryce goes into space. It became a sci-fi like fantasy like for a hot second.
it was a little sci-fi for sure. But I mean, Ruin fights Pollux with the boys and gets them out. Lydia turns into a ball of fire and kills a bunch of people with the fire sprites.
But I'm talking about on the battlefield.
There was not a lot of battlefield action.
I was looking for like,
it was more like small baby battles.
And I was looking for some battlefield.
It was more like fist to fist kind of energy.
Yeah. Which is fine. I guess I just like was thinking it might have been different.
Well, and what's nice and what I appreciate about Sarah is she does have her things that she repeats. But like she kind of throws you off because she doesn't always like because she does things like this where like she's not ending with a big battle.
I know.
So it's like, well, maybe you don't always have to end with a big battle, you know? Because I mean, the first book she doesn't end with a big battle. Bryce is on a TV screen killing an archangel.
I want you to think about
the end of the first book.
I want you to think about the way you felt when you were reading that. I want you to think about the fact that you could see it in your head.
Yeah.
And there was so much that happened and you could see it and you could feel it and it's like you were experiencing. I did not feel that way at the end of this book. I didn't. And like even at the end of the second book when they're at the Crystal Palace, like you could see it. There was so much.
Yeah.
And like I feel like this was just disjointed, and I think that does have to do with the fact that there were so many POVs happening.
Yeah.
There was so much happening at once, and I don't know,
it was like she had a lot to cover, and she kind of like in the Game of Thrones kind of like vibe glazed over a few things a little too quickly.
Yeah, Game of Thrones TV.
Yeah, TV, like the last season of Game of Thrones. They like quickly just like, oh, we have to tie it all up.
Mm-hmm.
She's crazy now. Oh, this White Walkers just died. Like it was like everything got like tied up with a bow really fast, and like everyone was like, wait, we would just watch 10 seasons for you to like tie that up that quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that's the equivalent I can compare to it.
I think this book was definitely a heavy. It was a heavy lifting. I think Sarah really had a huge task here.
Yeah.
I do think that there was a lot of this that probably didn't need to be in here. And there was a lot that, like, okay, example. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
And the live action show just came out. Mm-hmm. And when I love something, I'm going to be a pretty heavy critic of it, which is why, like, with this book, going into it, I knew what I wanted from the book, and there were some aspects where I got it, and then there were other things that, like, I didn't even know that I really wanted, and I didn't get.
Yeah.
But when I love something, I'm gonna criticize it. So, with the new Avatar show, so much of what makes that show, was removed from the live action.
Got it.
And it really just took away from the story and from the experience. And I feel like I kind of had that with this book, where like with the live action TV show, they removed so much that I felt like I couldn't, that like a lot of the story was really lost because of it. And with this, I felt like there was so much thrown in, like it's the other end of the spectrum. It was like, too much is happening where you're losing the story, you're losing the things that make these books so enjoyable, which are the connection between the characters, the visual experience. Like when I'm reading a fantasy book and there's a battle going on, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of it. So like at the end of Crescent City 1, I felt like I was a part of Bryce, like on those streets, like going, like that was what made it so, so, so good.
Mm.
And I just felt like the end of this book was extremely lackluster for me. So yeah, I was looking for more, and I got a shit ton, but not enough of what I was looking for.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I guess for me it was like I read the last page and I was like, oh, okay. But like the battling part, that wasn't like not enough for me. Like I liked like Bryce and Hunt trying to figure their shit out, like Lydia and Ruin trying to figure their shit out. Like you're seeing like different people trying to figure their shit out in the same battle, like Ethan showing up with the elixir and like all that stuff. Like I enjoyed all that. I thought it was very entertaining. But then like the way it got like tied up, I was like, there was no opening for more in a way where I was like, oh, this could have been a last book, but I know it's not, so then I feel a little weird about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was kind of, it was like, I know you aren't the last book, but you're being tied up like a last book. So I'm curious where that's going to go, but then I also feel like, okay. Because then like they go back to Prythian, get her parents, because we forgot to mention that. She throws her parents through to another portal, through to another world.
Another thing that I absolutely, that they gave us like crumbs of. With Nesta and Ember.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, okay, no, I'm not going to say anything. But like crumbs of that. And it was, I did not see her shoving her parents through that portal.
No, that was a shock.
Didn't see that shit at all.
Yeah.
Also, Quam, why is it that Nesta has such a hard time taking the mask off? But Bryce takes it on and off like it's no problem.
I wanted to bring that up.
I don't get that. That makes no sense to me.
Like Bryce pops it off like it's a hat. It's like a fedora. I don't know. A fedora feels like
a fedora is one that you can kind of pop on.
Yeah.
Like just like
we just did the same exact move
at the same exact time.
Like we were in a jazz dance together and it was choreographed. Okay.
Frankie Valli and Four Seasons.
Oh my god, I love Frankie Valli and Four
I
Seasons.
do too.
Sherry. Okay, sorry. So I just that whole thing was it didn't make any. I was like,
it
wait,
didn't make any sense.
Where's like Hunt having to like talk her down to get this off of her?
It was a wild inconsistency. Oh my god, we didn't even talk about this. Hunt's parents.
Oh like my god, we have
Hunt's
to talk.
Dad's was like Apollyon, and
he's like the Prince of Hell, pretty much.
Yeah, kind of. And I think everybody was really. I read it so I'm glad that we waited like a month to do this because I got to see like other people's reactions. People were like really mad that they were like, you're telling me that he knew that he could take his tattoo off and he didn't do it until like this time. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna stand by my statement of I think Hunt might just need 5 minutes.
I think he does. I think he takes a little moment to process his emotions.
Yeah, I think he was like, I need to understand what has just been brought to my attention, which is extremely hard for me to understand and deal with because now my identity is 100% known and it's nothing at all like I thought it was. And I can take this thing off my head, but then that means I have to face every single thing that I just found out.
Face reality, yeah.
And I'm like, give him a second, guys. Like, let him take a breather.
And when it was time, he took it off when it was necessary.
Exactly. I was like, everybody chill out. The man needs 5 minutes.
I mean, because that whole thing was wild. Absolutely wild.
I like knew that
I loved it, but it was wild.
He must have had something to do with hell, but I like didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Well,
what I do really like though is that because they were like, you were basically made essentially like for Bryce.
Ooh, and the word made. Wonder if that plays a role.
Maybe, I don't know. But like, I do appreciate that they clarified that just because Bryce and Hunt are mates, like that was very much...
They're not connected.
Yeah. I really appreciate that clarification was made because as soon as that stuff was happening, I was like, shit. And then they came out and they were like, no correlation at all. Like you two were just like destined to actually be
just
together.
know each other, but like the romance part was not part of it.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole Thunderbird thing was a part of, like, the Thunderbirds were supposed to play that role, were decimated, so then they made Hunt. And so I thought I enjoyed that storyline.
I did too. I thought it was great because honestly, and I think I thought it was so great because I had actually no idea where Hunt came from. I thought maybe from Thur.
You thought Thur. And because like Thur, he's like, it made sense.
Yeah, but I'm happy with it.
I loved it. I thought it was very, very interesting. I thought it was a very fun twist.
I'd also read a whole book about the Princes of Hell.
Dude, I love that.
I want to know every single thing about
I would read a prequel about, is it Apollyon? No.
Or Adis.
Adis.
Yeah.
Adis and Thea's romance.
Yeah.
I would read that.
Yeah.
That would be, because I find their love to be complicated.
Extremely complicated.
I think it'd be really fun. Like, Sarah, in case you're listening, I know you're not, but in case you are.
In case you are.
Please do that.
Yes.
We require it.
Where's your suggestion box?
We want a prequel with Adis and Thea.
Oh my god.
That'd be really cool.
Would read the shit out of that.
Read the shit out of it. Okay. Let's do theories.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think my biggest theory, it doesn't even have to do with Crescent City. Because honestly, for the next book, I just think that we're going to be getting a ton of Tharian and Ethan and Hypaxia, and like with them growing into their roles, which I'm going to read the book. It's going to be exciting. I'm really happy to see how the tiny bow gets tied onto this massive story.
Well, and I think, as we said earlier, it's probably a little more political heavy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But my biggest theory is I think I have a pretty decent idea of like what's going to happen in ACOTAR 6. I don't know whose point of view it's going to be in.
Say it.
If I had to guess, Asriel. If I had to guess. I think everyone thinks Elaine because it's been the sisters, but like based off of how things ended in this book where Nesta has the sword and the knife.
Yeah, Asriel.
And the knife calls to Asriel.
Yep.
And I don't think we're going to get another Nesta point of view. I think truly with the ACOTAR books, we're going to get an Elaine point of view, an Asriel point of view, and probably like a novella type thing, or like a more POV, which
No, thank you.
I would love a novella instead. But
yes, I don't want 800 pages of more.
That's besides the point.
I'll read whatever you read, Sarah, but I don't want that.
Yeah. But based off of the way that this ended with them having both made objects, I think that there's so much Asriel doesn't actually know about himself that now there's like this real opportunity. And I think that Nessa's going to be a huge part of the next book.
I think if it is Asriel's love story, I think Elaine's going to play a huge role, and them letting go of each other, because I think they have a connection.
I agree.
Will play a huge role in her then moving on to Lucian.
Yeah, I definitely think I do not see Elaine and Asriel as endgame.
No, we're not in that team.
No, Team Gwen.
We love Gwen.
I love Gwen. Yeah, I don't see them being endgame, but I could be wrong. Again, could be wrong. We'll find out eventually. ACOTAR 6 will probably come out next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, and Sarah's good at all our guesses are wrong. She's really good at finding the third option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it is Elaine's book, I'll be like, wow, okay, not where I thought we were going based off of. But I think based off of the way that this book ended with these ACOTAR characters, I'm like, I think that there's a lot for Asriel to figure out about himself.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
He deserves it.
That's my baby.
And honestly,
I
feel like so much was tied up in this book that I feel like predicting what comes next in another Crescent City book is just kind of not worth my energy.
No.
I think I'll just read it when it comes out.
We'll find out when it comes out. I will not be taking a day off for that unless something happens in the other books that is then connected. Then maybe.
There we go.
But
so we don't know.
Otherwise, I don't need to take a day off for Tharian and Ethan. I love you guys in
I would love for my mind to be changed about both of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm open.
Yeah. But that's all they have really for theories. So
yeah, I honestly, because of how this book was tied up, I have no theories.
yeah. Again, my theory
Another
is
book.
quite literally for a different series.
A different series.
Yeah.
Rate?
Okay, what are our categories?
We got sexy.
Oh my god, like maybe a 2.
I was gonna give it a 2.
There was nothing in this book.
Very, very little.
Like
very
nothing
little.
at all.
Like Rune and Lydia have like a few moments, and like Hunt and Bryce have a few moments, but it's very small.
I will say, Lydia's directness.
Ugh.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
She just like she does not hold back. She's like, I'm gonna dirty talk to you right here, right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love you. I'm obsessed with you.
I love her so much. Or like when they're like about to hook up for the first time and she flinches and they just cuddle naked. I was like, that is a man.
I'm obsessed.
Oh, it's
every
so
time I
good.
see any fan art of them, I actually need to take a minute because I'm like, I love them.
And then
so
she
much.
sends it to me.
And then it sends it to Emily. I'm like, hey, look at this. Look at these people. I love them.
Oh my god, it is so good. Okay, romance.
Like a 3.
We're on the same page, babe.
Yeah, like a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3. It's like, because of Rune and Lydia, it's a 3.
Mm-hmm.
If they weren't a part of the story, it'd be like a 1.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
1,000% agreed.
Okay. Overall rating.
I gave this a 3.5, which actually hurts. It hurts to say that, but it's a 3.5.
I'm giving it a 3.9, almost 4.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, I'm looking at overall enjoyment, and for 80% of the book, I loved it. The ending was a little bummer.
I think for me, that 0.5 was my enjoyment. Otherwise, if I didn't enjoy this book, I probably would have given it a 3.
Okay.
But I'm way harsher with my ratings.
Yeah, I'm a little nicer for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think I've given a Sarah book anything lower than a 4 ever.
Yeah, I'm like a 4,
Not
like
even Tower of
3.9.
Dawn.
Wow, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it was like a fun read, but like it had some moments where it was like hard.
The universal experience, I think for me, what made it super enjoyable was, one, I did have a good time reading it, but also was like the universal experience of everyone else.
Yeah.
Reading it at the same time. Like it was just like this collective thing that we were all doing together, and like that made it extremely fun and exciting.
Yeah. Like
but,
when the 7th Harry Potter came out, everyone was so amped. Yeah.
Like I genuinely think that this release actually skyrocketed the shit out of Sarah. Like she was doing talk shows.
She was on the Today Show. She was on Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, like she was having a little coffee date with Margot Robbie yesterday.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. I think it just means that because Margot Robbie loves reading fantasy. So I'm like, I think that might be it. If not, I wonder what it could be.
I just fell more in love with Margot Robbie, if at all that was possible.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Well,
bye.
Cover up my dance photos. All right.
You bet you just sat there like this little bit.
So anyways.
Yeah, I'm just relaxing.
So what I was trying to tell you.
And if you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you enjoyed any of our other episodes in this podcast overall, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also on TikTok and Instagram at Booked Up Babes.